I remember I was a newbie at work, and it was one of those first few meetings ever. I was researching on a new product, and there were a whole lot of people in the meeting. I was feeling so privileged just to be allowed to sit in there. As I was getting my bearings right, admiring the respected meeting members and organizing my papers, settling in my seat, my superior announced, "So, Sarika is going to run us through some interesting insights relevant to our new product. Over to you, Sarika." And Sarika was me. I was like caught unaware. My cheeks turned hot and tomato red. My heart started racing in a Ferrari. All I wanted was to become invisible. I forgot everything I thought I knew. And I was just super nervous. Today, 25 years later, I don't remember if I did well or I waffled or I made a complete fool out of myself. But this memory of my never medically diagnosed heart attack has stayed in my memory unfaded. I'm sure situations like this have happened to many of us. We all have speaking situations where instead of speaking, our hearts start pounding, our hands and feet turn cold, sweat starts trickling down the temples, the voice squeaks in a quiver, and some of us even struggle to breathe. Our stomach, well, it starts rumbling and it decides to become upset with countless butterflies dancing in it. Believe you me, this is perfectly normal and this happens to the best of us. Scientists call this anxiety of public speaking social anxiety disorder or SAD. It is sad indeed, isn't it? True to its name because the very experience of it is sad. But the good news is public speaking anxiety or glossophobia is commonplace. Most of us are down with it. And even better news is that it is perfectly manageable and treatable without medicines. Today, in this episode, I'm going to tell you inch by inch what chaos happens inside the body when we're nervous. And inch by inch, I'll show you the exact solution to each symptom that causes this nervousness, and I'll help you make it go away. Having said that, we must remember that at the backdrop, to master any new technique, any new skill or thought, be it swimming or driving or public speaking, we have to train the brain. And with the simple tips and tricks I will share with you today, I will show you how to train your grey matter and make your nervousness history. Let's roll! Today, almost any disease can be cured, but only after its correct diagnosis. So let's understand why we get scared when we climb that stage or hold the mic for any reason. The audience is not going to eat us up. So why the fear? What is the genesis of this fear? The answer is very basic, very simple, and no rocket science. Only we have to travel back by some 2.5 billion years. So in prehistoric times, humans perceived all eyes watching them as a threat because the eyes were most likely a predator's eyes. And so the eyes were terrifying. The immediate response of the prehistoric man was to either be brave and fight the predator or take a flight, means run for your life. This response was given by a tiny part of the brain which is called the amygdala. Now this amygdala helps us to respond to danger, and the scientists call the response as fight or flight response. Either you fight it or make a run. After 2.5 billion years, that is today, we haven't changed much. Fear is still instilled in our DNA. But today the eyes are different. Today the eyes means the eyes of the audience or the interviewer. Today he is the predator. So when you stand in front of everyone to give that presentation or that speech or talk and all eyes are on you, the brain gets a signal, hey, you're under attack. The fight or flight response gets triggered. Interestingly, there's another point to note. There are times when we are super scared on the stage, and yet there are also times when talking to a group seems like cakewalk. Why is that? Why different? So research says that we get more nervous when the result or the outcome of that talk or presentation matters a lot to us. For example, if your friends ask you about, say, jaggery that your company is making, you'll have a lot to talk about. It's this, it's that, it has this benefit and blah, blah, blah. You'll be comfortable speaking. However, if you're asked to give a jaggery demo or a presentation to a client, which means you have to impress your client, you have to get that order, chances are you will get nervous. What if I'm not able to impress the client? What if I goof up at the demo? I really need that job. So what I'm trying to say is that nervousness is directly proportional to the importance of the outcome for us. More important the outcome, more nervous we get, and vice versa. Earlier in the podcast, I promised to show you tricks to train the brain. And I will keep my promise and share some very, very smart tricks to fool this brain and counter the 7 fight or flight responses. And with practice, I'm sure you're going to ace them. So the immediate fight or flight response by our body when we get frightened is that our heart starts pounding. Whether it's walking in the dark, or we're facing a pack of dogs, or we're going for an interview, or even that first date, our heart is the first one to race up. One of my students was doing a research paper on horror movies. He mentioned about an internationally renowned project. It's called the Science of Scare Project. Now, this project is aimed to categorically find the scariest movie ever. And this they find out by measuring the rates of heart pumping and pulse racing. By the way, the supernatural horror flick Sinister was crowned the scariest movie ever made. My only takeaway from this was never click the movie named Sinister if it shows up on my Netflix or Amazon Prime. But the key question here is, why does the heart rate go up? What is the trick to bring it down? So the heart rate shoots up, being the first fight or flight response. Let's call it F or F response, to get the blood circulation going. Because this blood is meant to carry oxygen and adrenaline to the arms and the legs, your extremities, so that you can run. But the fact is that we humans have around, say, 5 liters of blood in our body. Now, if a big chunk leaves one place to go to the other, chances are there's less blood in the first place. Means less blood in the brain. And this triggers almost immediately the second follow-up fight or flight response, which is you draw a blank. So first your heart was pounding, now suddenly you forget what you had to say. So you see, there's lots of trouble there. Now, you know why the heart rate goes up. You know why you forget what you had to say. What do you do to manage these fight or flight responses? I'm going to show this to you. It's a very simple trick, and we learn it from the Navy SEALs. This trick has to be done just before the interview or just before you give a talk or a presentation. Basically, you have to learn to breathe like a Navy SEAL. And Navy SEALs are taught this technique to lower the heart rate before the stressful situation of diving into great depths. For us, it's diving into a public speaking activity. It's also called box breathing or 4-4-4 breathing. So, what you have to do is, first, breathe in slowly, inhale, and count to 4. Next, when you've inhaled, you hold your breath for 4 seconds. So you've inhaled, you've held your breath. Finally, you exhale, you breathe out through your mouth for 4 seconds. So inhale on a count of 4, hold your breath for 4 seconds, exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds. You repeat this process 3 or 4 times and your heart rate is known to plummet by 10 to 15 beats a minute. So your heart rate comes down. When the heartbeat comes down, you start to relax. When you're relaxed, you don't forget what you had to say. So everything is interrelated. No matter how nervous you are, your speech isn't more frightening or terrorizing as fighting the war in Syria or Palestine. So if this works for Navy SEALs, I'm sure it's going to work for you, my friend. So on my checklist of 7, the first 2 fight or flight responses managed. Have you seen someone on the stage speaking and suddenly he starts looking like a nutcase and stares away into nothingness like a lunatic? You're like, what just happened to this person? He was normal just a while ago. That's because he's triggered his 3rd fight or flight response. Typically, when under a threat, a whole lot of adrenaline rushes into the eyes because the pupils dilate to let more light in so that you can see your surroundings clearly and better so that you are safe from the predator. Remember who the predator is here? The audience or the interviewer. And very often, this gets combined with the 4th fight or flight response, which is your voice box decides to shut down. Imagine you were caught cheating in school. The examiner was walking towards you and there's a major punishment coming your way. You are absolutely scared. Not to forget the ridiculing by the classmates. The examiner comes and says, "What do you think you were doing?" And as a response, there's a lump in your throat. You can't speak. You've lost your voice. A similar situation happens in an interview. Often, when you're nervous, your voice just disappears. Let me tell you why this happens biologically. So since your brain was trying to help you, save you from the predator, make you run away from the predator, it starts to shift your body fluids, such as saliva, water, from your mouth to other parts of the body. Your brain also stops producing saliva so that you don't choke on it. When you're running, you don't choke on the saliva. And less saliva means that your voice box doesn't get lubricated with the saliva. Your mouth dries up. Because of your frightened brain, your voice box shuts down. And also, because your brain is saying that you don't want the predator to hear you, it's a way to keep you safe so that you don't speak, you don't make a sound. As a result, you get cotton mouth when you're scared. The adrenaline has sucked moisture from your mouth. And because your mouth went dry, like I said, there's a chain reaction. One fight or flight response adds up to the other one and moves on to the next one. So because your mouth went dry, you experience the next fight or flight response, which is butterflies in your stomach. Your brain has asked the digestion process to stop. So this brain has been a really busy guy. He's busy ordering around different parts of your body. The legs run, heart race, eyes dilate, voice disappear, digestion stop. That's quite some action. Do you remember you tremble and your teeth clatter when you're nervous? Your legs become wobbly? Now that's your next fight or flight response, which steps in now. You see, you can't speak, you're cotton mouth, your heart is racing, your stomach has little blood, it's not doing the digestion, so you feel you have an upset stomach. Your extremities have too much blood, too much adrenaline. So now your brain is signaling all the big muscles to execute escape strategy. and it's telling your legs to run. But you're sitting on the chair, giving an interview, or you're standing on the podium, giving a presentation or a talk, and you can't run. And if you don't run, your extremities, your legs and hands start shivering. So now, standing on the stage, your heart pounding, your voice gone, your stomach gurgling, your legs and arms shaking, you look anything but confident. And here comes your last one, the fight or flight response, when you freeze at one spot and shivering at the same time. This lands you in some serious trouble. But to fight the brain signals, you need to fool your brain, and I'm going to share a secret trick to trick your brain into thinking it has moved all the big muscles. So here's the trick. Whether you're sitting or you're standing, you can do this trick. Simply squeeze your glutes and quads. That is your bottom and your thigh muscles. Try it out. It works well. You can do this standing, you can do this on the stage, you can do this sitting at a job interview or a business meeting. And your trembling will instantly stop. Actually, you can't tremble if your glutes and quads are clenched. Also, I personally use my hand movements to get rid of the excessive adrenaline and fool my brain into thinking that I'm fleeing. Also, you need your voice back, right? That's easy to fix. If you can, excuse yourself, take a sip of water. When you do, you don't drink it suddenly, you hold it in your mouth for a few seconds before swallowing. Pause for a few seconds, breathe, relax. If you cannot take a drink, you pause to collect some leftover saliva in your mouth. Hold it there for a few seconds before swallowing. Your voice will pop right back in. And the butterflies, what about them? So if you want to be a good speaker, like Helen Keller said, you don't want to get rid of the butterflies. You just want them to fly in a formation. I'm not saying that we'll have all 7 symptoms. Some of us will have just 1 or 2. Some will have more than that. But when you feel performance jitters, don't freak out. Tell your brain, I'm not afraid of being nervous. Because if you are nervous, you are normal. Tell that to yourself. Give fear, F-E-A-R, a new definition. Feeling excited and ready. I hope this episode comes to your rescue and helps you train your brain. In the words of Emerson, all great speakers were bad speakers first. So don't worry. Last week, I was giving a talk to a group of young professionals. I entered the room and I said, last time I gave this talk and the whole room walked out on me. They all laughed. I love hearing stories of how people messed up in speeches. I have done it more than a few times. I laugh at how Bush says that many Americans are working to put food on their family, and how Obama fumbled in his swearing-in ceremony speech. Share yours, will be fun to learn from. Thank you for listening to this episode of Communicate 101 Speaking Writing Tips with Sarika Singh. If you want to be notified of upcoming episodes, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow the podcast. I'll be back to share more stories, more life experiences, and more communication tips every Friday. If you want to reach me or connect with me, just put your comments in the comment box below or mail me at info@sarikasingh.in. I know you're going to rate and review this podcast, so a big thank you in advance. Stay tuned and think about what we talked today.